everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to cook some pasta, some of the protein pasta, and I'm going to give you an idea of how to make it tasty for you. Now, I've just grabbed some things from my fridge that we eat a lot of, and we're just going to throw it together and make a really good looking dish. How about that? All right, so here's our pasta. And my water is boiling, so by the time we get the pasta cooked, we're going to have the other things cooking up for us as well, and we will add it to the pasta. Alright, there we go. Cooking the pasta. Alright, and today what we're going to do, one of our favorites right now is a mixture of zucchini, mushrooms, peppers, and onions. Very easy to do. So we're going to slice up our pepper, which we almost always have. My knife is a little dull. Peppers and onions, those are two of the things that we keep in the fridge. I don't know really why I'm saying we, because Mark doesn't really cook. It's me. So that's the royal we, as we call it in our house. Let me get these peppers out of here. But you know, the main thing to think about when you are cooking is to keep it simple, because if you keep it simple, then you're more likely to do it. Don't make things difficult. You know, every now and then get ambitious. Try a fancy recipe, but for every day, you know, just keep it simple. Now, these are going to cook down. It doesn't really matter how big you make these. You can chop it, you can slice it, you can leave it in long pieces. You can, I kind of like to make bite-sized pieces. It's a little easier to eat. So here are the peppers and the onions. I've got my mushrooms, and I'm just going to chop everything up very quickly, very easily. Like I said, it's going to cook down. So you don't have to be precise. Don't be scared to cook. I meet a lot of people who they're kind of scared of cooking because they don't cook, but it's really not that difficult. Now, I'm no fancy chef, and I do not pretend to be one. I'm just your ordinary, everyday cook trying to feed my family and help them enjoy it. So one of my favorite things in my kitchen is my cast iron skillet, and I use it a lot. Now, sometimes when I'm cooking, I cook with coconut oil, sometimes olive oil, and sometimes butter. So today, we're going to use butter. I love the way, the taste that butter gives to mushrooms, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to let that melt down in the skillet. Make sure it's good and hot. You don't want it too hot because you don't want your butter to burn. And it is smelling really good right now. And then we're going to add the peppers and the onions, and I think I'll just carry this over here. And I'm going to add these. I'm going to stir it around a little bit. I'm going to let those cook a minute. I'm also going to add one of my favorite things to use. It's minced garlic. And I'm almost out. So hopefully, it's going to splatter on me, but we'll get some of it out there. I use this there we go. That'll be just enough. All the time. And it really makes your veggies taste good. So I'm just going to stir that around a little bit. It is popping on me, so I'm so glad I put my apron on. And then I'm just going to toss my mushrooms in. And then what I normally do because I want those to really, really cook on the bottom. I would normally have more zucchini than this, but I just had one, and you'll get the idea. And then what I normally do, and I don't have my big top, so I'm going to just set it on there. It's going to help it cook a little faster. Meanwhile, my pasta is cooking over here in the water. It doesn't take long, but one thing I have found out about the protein pasta is it is a little better if you cook it longer. So let it cook, and I'm just going to let it sit there in the hot water while the rest of this gets done. I'm just going to lower that a little bit, and it's going to take a few minutes for the vegetables to cook, but I have to tell you that it's already smelling really good, and Mark is nodding his head. That's good, because this is probably his supper tonight. So while we have a few minutes, I want to address the issue of food being just food. We talk a lot about making that transition and telling yourself it's just food. Don't lose your enjoyment for food. That's not what we mean by it's just food. What we mean by that is food is to be enjoyed. It's not to be depended on for a substitute for anything else. A lot of times we can put too much emphasis on what we're eating and not think too clearly about why we're eating. And that's why we say it's just food. That's why we want you to ask yourself when you're reaching for something to eat, am I hungry? When you're having a craving, say, okay, am I hungry? Am I really wanting this, or is there something else going on? Because this is just food. It is here to nourish my body. It is here to make me healthier and stronger. Food is fuel, and food is good. We want food to taste good. And so that's why I'm sharing this with you today. So let's check on our zucchini and peppers and onions and see how it's going. This zucchini has a while to go. It's going to take a little while to cook. So just stir it around. And I'll tell you one thing we have not done that we need to do. And we need some salt. We like pepper. We are going to add some salt and pepper. You will need that. Be careful not to over salt. Salt is, one of those things. You can add it, but you can't take it out. So I cook with it, and then I put it on the table, and everybody can add as much as they want to. So there we go, and it's cooking up, but it's going to take a minute. And I did not bring my pasta bowl over here for presentation. The pasta is done. It's looking good. You can make this pasta up however you want to. You can add whatever you want to. You can eat it hot. You can eat it cold. Add 2 cups of whatever vegetables that you want. A really easy fix is to stash some frozen vegetables in the freezer, and you heat those up. You cook your pasta up, toss it together with some olive oil and some seasoning, and you're good to go. That's a really easy fix. But this is for when you have maybe a little more time, and possibly even some vegetables in your refrigerator that you've got to cook up. This is a great way to, I won't say get rid of them, I'll say to serve them and use them. Because, what hurts me bad is for food to go bad in the refrigerator. We don't want that. All right, this is looking good. This is looking real good. Okay. We are ready to serve this up. All right, we are ready to spoon this up. So, since this is just a single serving of pasta, I'm just going to use my slotted spoon and put it in the bowl. This is one of my favorite protein items because it is very filling and it's really versatile. I make this with a tomato sauce as well, and we have spaghetti night, and that is good. And let's see, I think I'm gonna bring this over here, and this is gonna be the best way to get this out. And we add our 2 cups of vegetables. Yum. What I will probably do to serve this to Mark is to sprinkle on some red pepper flakes to top it off. I think he would like that. I mean, if this doesn't fill you up, you got a problem. So here we go. It's all ready. Our pasta with zucchini and peppers and onions and mushrooms. Delicious. Looks like Mark's going to have a good supper tonight.